First back flying on. Stamford Bridge to Wembley.
Hey guys, welcome to the Chelsea SW6 match preview. It's Chelsea versus Qarabag to kick off our Champions League campaign. And you know what? It was a great victory over Leicester, and I think this is a great game to be starting our Champions League campaign with. After all, I do believe that we actually belong with the elite clubs. It's a really great time to be back actually, because I do feel like we have a strong squad. I think we have a strong manager. I feel like we have a strong identity and a philosophy that we can go with. And I feel like Antonio Conte's experience, plus when you add our players' determination for wanting to do well in the competition, players like Eden Hazard, who are very hungry to do well, and players like Morata, who have actually got a point to prove in this competition as well. So I'm really excited for it. Let's get this preview underway, guys. Let's look at the group that we're actually in. We've got Atletico Madrid, we've got AS Roma and Qarabag. Qarabag obviously being the weakest of the sides that are in this group. They're also, in my opinion, one of the weakest sides in the Champions League this year as well. However, they have made a little bit of history for themselves. This is the first Azerbaijani team that's made it into the Champions League group stages. They have been more used to Europa League more than anything, and they always struggled to make it into the group stage, and they're always kind of gone as far as the second or the third qualifying stage of the Champions League before they usually got knocked out. Getting here, they've actually beaten Copenhagen, who are the champions of the Danish league as well, and I think credit where credit is due. Now let's talk about the news in terms of obviously the updates on players. Antonio Conte at the press conference today alongside Gary Cahill obviously spoke about the team. Gary Cahill is ready to go, and he's obviously, I think, a player that more than likely will get a start in this game, simply because he needs that match fitness. He has been absent for quite a while. He's been training with the squad quite a lot, but he's been quite frustrated at not obviously being able to help the team along, and obviously being the captain at the same time. I think this is a perfect game to bring him back into contention with the squad and see where he goes from there. Antonio Conte did make two other key points, however. One was to do with Eden Hazard yet again. Eden Hazard, he feels, is someone who's lacking in match fitness, but he also wants to be very careful in terms of how he brings him back into the fold. The second one obviously being Morata. He feels that Morata has actually had quite a lot of games, and for that reason he isn't sure whether to take that risk on Morata. I do feel that those are two players that you still need to take a risk in this situation, but I do completely understand where Antonio Conte is coming from. The only sidelining injury that we've got in this match is actually for Danny Drinkwater, unfortunately, and I think this is a game that would have been perfect just to see how he's like, but unfortunately he's picked up an injury in training and therefore won't be making it into the squad for this match. Alright guys, let's talk about the expected lineup for this team. Me and Tony do have slightly a bit of a different opinion, but you'll hear about him in a second. When it comes to me, however, I do expect a few changes for this match, and I think this is where I agree with Antonio Conte's cautious approach to this game. We have got Arsenal at the weekend, and for that reason, I want you to take a look at the team I'm expecting for this match. First thing is, let's look at the back of the lineup here. Courtois is obviously in goal, and when you look at the back five, there's two changes I'm expecting. I expect Gary Cahill to be put back in, and I expect Rudiger to finally get a rest. I think he deserves it, and I think it's a great opportunity to see what Gary Cahill has got in his locker. And I also think that Antonio Conte will more than likely prefer to see Zappacosta in this game, because this is a perfect game to see what sort of things he's got and how good he is at actually being able to adapt to the team, understand the team, and actually it's a great side to be able to pick a bit of confidence up from playing with this team too. So for that reason, it's a great straightforward lineup. Now when you look at midfield, this is where I won't be changing my team. Reason being is I think Fabregas and N'Golo Kante are a perfect partnership. When it comes to distribution, when it comes to work rate, and when it sometimes even comes to goals, these are two players that seem to be doing it all for us. And for that reason, they are two players that I would not be taking off in any game against any side. They make us tick. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say with these two players. Now when you look at the front, Morata is in my team, and so is Eden Hazard, and so is Willian. And this is where I feel like we need to go for a strong lineup. I feel like we need to score a lot of goals, because it's the first game of the Champions League campaign for us. And the best way to go about it is put a strong lineup, get a lot of goals, and make sure that that gets in our benefit. Because we are in a group that is going to be quite competitive, I believe. I don't think AS Roma are going to be that easy, and I don't think Atletico are going to be that easy. So games like this, getting as many goals as possible is the best thing that we can do. What you'll see also on my bench is that Charlie Masonde is on my bench. And Charlie Masonde is someone I expect to get minutes in this game. Again, reason is very simple. A very easy side that we're going against, and I think Charlie Masonde is ready to go. I feel like Antonio Conte possibly may have promised him that this is a game that he had him in mind for, and for that reason, I expect him to get some sort of minutes. Hopefully, the more the merrier for the guy, because I think he has so much to prove and I'm so excited about his talent. I just can't wait for the world to actually see him for what he is and how great he is, because he has been working absolutely hard and I believe he deserves some minutes in games like this. So that's my lineup. Now, Tony, it's very great for me to speak about my lineup here right now. I want to hear about your expectations for this game before I speak about the opposition's threat, because there's only one main threat from this team. However, I want to hear your thoughts, Tony. So, Tony, over to you, mate.
Thank you, Mo. And wow, Champions League football returns to Stamford Bridge, and I'm absolutely so excited because I love Champions League. I love everything about it, the spectacle, the colour, the noise, the choreography, everything about it. It's just, for me, it's the greatest competition out there in terms of football. And I even include the World Cup in that. I just absolutely adore it. And I remember our last Champions League night at Stamford Bridge, although the result wasn't great. As we all know, we lost to Paris Saint-Germain. But I remember looking around the stadium that day thinking, wow, is this the last time we're going to experience all this with the flags and everything at Stamford Bridge as we know it. But of course the development with the stadium has taken a few delays and it's back. And what a group we've drawn, even though we were seeded. We ended up with AS Roma and Atletico Madrid, and of course the ones where everyone's taking the piss, Qarabag. Now, what do we know about this team? Not a great deal, I've got to be honest. They're the champions of Azerbaijan, and they have been champions of that country for the last 3-4 seasons. They won their first 3 league games, and their qualification to get to this stage, they beat the Georgian champions home and away quite convincingly in the first qualifier. The second qualifier, they beat champions of Moldova, and then of course they had a playoff kind of final against a team from Denmark, where they went through on the away goals. So this is their cup final, this is their Champions League final, if you like, and imagine they want to come here to the home of the English champions and put up a really, really good exhibition and not embarrass themselves. So I'm expecting them to sit deep, park the bus if you like almost, but it's down to us to impose our game. I hope we go with a really strong side, especially the fact that we've got Arsenal at the weekend. I hope we ignore that factor and go for goals, because I'm really pleased that this particular one comes up first. And let's hope that in the game between Roma and Atletico, that there's a draw there, so that when we fly out to Madrid, we're topping the group. So I'm personally going to go for a really convincing win. I don't know whether to go with 5 or 4. I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to go for Chelsea 4, Qarabag 0. And back to you, mate.
Thank you very much, Tony. Tony's expecting a very strong lineup, and Tony's also expecting a very strong performance from us, 4-0. Now, obviously, I want to hear from you lot, because it's great that we can speak about our expectations in terms of lineup, but we can also speak about what we expect in terms of scoreline. So, down in the comments below, guys, I want to make sure that you tell me about what you expect our lineup to be, but also what you expect the scoreline to be. How do you expect us to be going back into this Champions League campaign? Let's talk about the opposition's threat. I have to admit, my goodness, I've done research on this squad and it was definitely not easy. But after doing a little bit of research, there was one guy that seems to be standing out amongst all of that team. And it's this guy. His name is Dino Endlobo. He's a South African striker and he plays for the international team as well. He has played so far 26 games and managed to score 11 goals for them. They've only got him, this is his second season at the club, and he's been doing quite well for them so far. And that's their main threat really, because when you look at this team, it's not a squad that is recognised in terms of the players that they've got in their squad, but I do expect a big team performance from this team. For that reason, I expect them to be quite defensive in this game, because after all, we are a strong team and we are going to be very dominant in this game. We are also in favour, we are at home, and it's a game where I think even a draw would be a big deal to them. For that reason, I expect them to be quite defensive. Now, when it comes to the score prediction and me, I expect also a strong performance. In fact, I'm so confident about this game. I expect a 5-0 victory. I also expect Eden Hazard to probably get on the score sheet. I'm going to be quite confident. I'm going to be a little bit saying about who I expect to score. I expect Eden Hazard to get a goal. I can see Alvaro Morata also getting a goal. Hopefully with his feet, like Eden Hazard has been asking him to do so. And I'm also expecting actually a surprise person to score. Who that surprise might be, I have no idea. But it'd be great to have one of the new guys actually score. So Zappa Costa or Charlie Masonda. And if Charlie Masonda scores, I'm telling you right now, my reaction is going to be unreal. But that is my expectations for this game, guys. Thank you so much for watching the match preview, guys. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Please let us know in the comments your score prediction as well as your expected lineup for this match. And obviously, if you've enjoyed this content, please make sure that you like it. But also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure that you subscribe. You'd be supporting the channel and we have more content coming your way. Thank you very much. Make sure you join us also on Wednesday when we'll be reviewing the game at 9:30 p.m. on a hangover stream where you can ask us questions and we'll be also discussing all the latest on Chelsea.